All right, howdy folks. Welcome back to EIS Alaska.
Welcome back, everyone.
Just barbecuing a little of aluminum this morning. I gotta put a bend in this corner, or a bend in this strap, so we're just heating it up a little bit, trying to get it annealed a little bit so it'll bend nice. Usually just use a black marker and mark it, and when it starts to fade, it's usually pretty good. Pretty hot. I don't know, it's kind of cold out here, but I think that'll be sufficient. So we're using this to form the corner on our bulwarks that we're adding on to the boat. I don't know if we've gone over it much or not, but
not at all.
is raised aluminum bulwarks. And what we use for the cap rail here is some 2x3 aluminum square tube. This had the sharp corners, so Matt went and routed all this off to give it a nice smooth corner. Because of the bend of the rake of the deck and the rub rails and also the curve of the hull, this had to all be bent kind of in place. So those guys did that with a pipe bender. You'll see that in another video. And now we're just working on the corners.
Actually,
and because
we didn't film any of that.
Oh,
we haven't filmed like anything for a while, so.
Oh, I gotcha. So yeah, so Matt and Tristan used a pipe bender to put a bend in these rails, bending it with the hull this way, but also this way for the rake of the deck. And because of the tight radius on the corners, that's too much to bend this stuff without, like, we just can't possibly do it with our bender. Maybe other guys could do it with hydraulic benders, I don't really know. But at any rate, we only got a couple of choices, and one is to pie cut it and bend it that way, which doesn't turn out very nice, or you just make your own corners, and that's what we're doing now. So when we planned out our materials for this, we made sure that we would have enough 1/4-inch plate in order to create the top and bottom of the corner. And now we're using some 3/8 aluminum strap flat bar to do what will be the inside and outside face. And so we've already got the other ones all fabbed up inside. Wow, this is pretty cozy. And now we'll take this in there and we'll get it jigged up and start to bend it and tack it into place.
So you guys might be able to tell that the shop is in quite a state. It's been a real hectic month, 2 months, 3 months. We've lost track of time.
Yeah, things are coming along good. All these 5-gallon buckets, those all have hydraulic oil in them for our new old hydraulic tank that is now basically finished. It's all welded up, and I just need to put the suction line on it, and then we'll fill it up. We'll get rid of all these buckets out here, but that's what all that clutter is about. You can see our beautiful bulwarks and cap rails. It turned out really good. It's just tacked on right now, but it's already quite rigid. Have some 3/8 by 4-inch flat bar down here that is bolted through on the bottom, and now this will get a thin piece of aluminum. Looks like here's a couple of pieces right here that bridge this gap, and then it'll get welded out, and that'll basically seal off this raw fiberglass edge. It's not raw, it's gel coated, but still we don't want a bunch of crud falling down in here, particularly water in the wintertime where it'll expand when it freezes, and then when it thaws you've got a gap and more water and it freezes, and it's just a bad combination of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep all that crud out of there.
Builds like a cake of oxidation in there over time.
Yeah.
Potentially too, and nice to keep that minimalized.
These are all basically fabbed up, they're tacked into place. We're starting to weld them out. This will get a weld on the bottom of this inside and outside. And now we're just working on these corners right here. So like I was saying, there's not really a good way for us to do this other than to make our own corner. I think guys probably could bend this with a good hydraulic bender. we don't have one. You would need like one with a power pack on it and good dies and everything. We used our Harbor Freight bender to do all these, and it pretty much pushes it to the limit.
Yeah, we had a hydraulic cylinder go out on us, had to retrofit it to get a new one, but you can see how much, might be able to see how much curve there is on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of curve, not just, you know, on the top face of it, but also on the inside face of it. It curves to take the contour of the hull. If you don't do that, this does have some flexibility in it, but as you try and bend it and weld it, eventually it's going to overcome the strength of this plate, and what you would get is a very ugly looking result. So that being said, that turned out great. Super happy about it. When we put this on, there was practically no stress whatsoever in positioning this plate on here. Just very little, very minor adjustments had to be made, and so couldn't be happier with that. And here's our corner. So this came out of a piece of the leftover plate from the stern right here. We just planned it out, so we had about a 4-foot piece left over, and we got all 4 corners cut out of it now, top and bottom. We didn't burn up the whole piece of plate, which is nice. We got some leftover.
Yeah, nice chunk of leftover there for whatever.
Yeah, and then when we had our materials sent up, we got some 3/8 by 1.5 inch flat bar. And so, because it's 1.5 inch, and then we add the 1/4 inch for the plate on each side, we end up with a 2-inch height, which mirrors this. And then we cut these spacers at 2 1/4 inch. So then when you add the sum of the two faces, 3/8 and 3/8 is 3/4, we end up with exactly 3 inches this way. And so the nice thing about doing this is you can see I've got a little bit of a gap here, and these actually fit inside. So the strap that we just heated up and we're getting to bend will fit right on the inside of that, nice and tight. It will go in there. So we'll have these will act as our guide, and then what we end up is with just a nice corner weld here. We'll fill that all out, and then we'll grind it up roughly and then run the router across it, and at the end we'll have a very nice corner that'll should just match right into these. So this just goes in like that. I think it'll look pretty good when we're done. It'll all get welded in.
Looking good.
Yeah, next course of action is just to start working this piece in here. Somewhere I had a mark, yes, right there. And it's still a little bit warm. So we're just gonna clamp this in here now and start pulling it down and just see how it bends. If it looks like it's gonna kind of bend, like, I'm trying to avoid like hard spots where these ribs are basically. So if it looks like it's gonna be kind of a not very nice bend, we'll take it home and use our pipe bender. We just have a couple of dies, flat dies for our pipe bender that we made, so we can bend things that are flat like this, our rails up here, our cap rails. But in the meantime, nothing real fancy going on here, just some clamps. And get this clamped in place. Just using some of these other plugs to bridge this gap. Tighten it up right there, and yeah, you can see that it's nice and tight against the inside of that. So now when I put my other piece on the inside, we're gonna end up with exactly 3 inches right here, and that's what we want. So we'll just start there, tighten that down. That's about where I need to be, roughly. That feels a lot better. A lot easier to bend now. Took some of the temper out of this. So hopefully what we can do here, so we'll just throw a couple of clamps on here. kind of bend this along and then tack it as we go. If we're happy with how it looks, that is.
Yeah, you'll be able to easily tell with the thickness of your bar there if it starts going inside, right?
Yeah. So what I'll probably do is I'll come in here and I'll just start putting some tacks. And every time you put a tack, it'll kind of soften that spot right there. But we're just going to clamp this up first and see how it looks, I think. So that bar wants to pull a little bit to one side, huh?
Yeah, it looks that way. But more, there you go.
And that looks nice, doesn't it?
That looks very nice. I like that.
Let's get this guy back in here.
This all takes a lot of time. We like our stuff to look good at the end of the day. It's something we're going to be looking at for quite a while, so we don't really like it when things look bad. We always try and do our best aesthetically and just take the time to do it right, do it good.
Just about taking pride in your work.
Yeah.
Well, we're just gonna fiddle with this for a while. I just want to get this one down here where this next spacer is, and then I'll come back with this one and kind of adjust it. Start pulling that other one down, probably. All right, well, we'll start by putting a couple of tacks on this. We're just gonna start in the middle here. I just took the calipers here, just using this as a depth gauge right here. And then it'll be easy to just make it consistent. Over here you can see that it's just out a little bit, not a whole lot, maybe a 32nd, maybe closer to a 16th. We work our way down, we'll just clamp it wherever we need to pull it in a little bit. If it looks weird, it's easy enough just to bust these tacks again with the grinder, and we'll bend this a little bit. It looks nice. This curve right here looks real nice and fair, so I'm happy with that. It doesn't have like any hard spots on it or anything. So this is a nice way to do these corners with these spacers and everything, because like I say, you're basically setting the height right here extremely accurately because of the thickness of this being 1.5 inches and then 1/4 inch plate on each side. That gives us our 2-inch heights. And then, you know, we just cut this in the chop saw with a stop right there. So all these little pieces came out the same. And you can see that they're just a little bit shorter on the inside of this. So you have a very nice guide for your flat bar to go into. And that's going to keep it straight this way. And then with the length of this and the sum of your two pieces of flat bar on each side, you end up exactly at 3 inches. So all you have to do is just be careful when you're tacking this that you don't have a spot where it's out too far or in too far, and you're going to be golden at the end of the day.
Another nice benefit to that is a lot more interconnection build wise. Like this corner is going to be beefy as heck.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, corners are always kind of spots that can take some abuse, and it's nice to have that kind of extra reinforcement there. Yeah, what do you think? I think I should just weld this as I go.
Yeah, weld it as you go, for sure.
Just go for it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So now if we just take our gauge here, you can see that we're in a little bit too far. So we'll just go ahead and back that off a bit. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky. It's probably kind of fiddly, so anyways, that's, I guess, kind of the game plan here. So like right there, it looks really nice. Right here, it's going to be out a little bit. So we can put a tack right there. And that probably just work these sides in kind of concurrently. We'll put a tack right there, because that's like perfect. You kind of want to like put it in a spot where it's parallel. If you go over here too far, you can see that the angle starts to open up and change, and so when you go to pull this in over here, then you kind of have a little weird spot right there. But right here, it looks real good. Actually, I'm going to tack it like right there. So yeah, we'll just keep working our way down here. Little steps. Looks pretty good right here, but it's out right here, so we'll pull that in a bit. Just keep working our way. Like I say, I think that that's going to go okay. That is a lot of bend right there. We're just going to have to see. We can put some heat on it if we need to. That'll help soften up the metal and pull it in a little bit. I think it'll be okay. This inside radius, we're definitely going to hit that with the pipe bender first and get some of that bend into the metal, and then we're not putting that much stress into this whole thing.
All right, so Dad got his corner finished up. We ran out of our 0.35 wires, so he was just running quick beads with 3/64, a little bit different. Gotta go quick and fast, but it's no big deal as far as the messiness of the welds go, because what we plan on doing is flattening out this top. And what I'll do is take my router and run a 1/4 round or a 3/16 round, just like I did with these ones. And hopefully it'll kind of round it off nicely, and it'll also show Dad where low spots are, so he can come in again and make another pass.
Yeah, so there's actually, there's a lot of weld in this corner. There's, because we use 3/8 wall on these two sides as opposed to 1/4 inch, there's a big gap right there that we're filling. So this will get another pass in here, and it'll build it up and bring it almost to being square. And then, like Matt said, we'll hit it with the router. Finished result will look like this. And if we toss this up here, I think it's cooled off enough that it won't melt the plastic too much, but you can see that that does not fit very good. So let's turn it over. Try again. So it's a beautiful fit. Fitment's really good. I got a big glob right there, so that's not pulling in all the way, but we had like just a clamp on each of these, and these corners just are instantly tied together and stiffened up. So we'll get this all routed off and weld these in and blend it out, and at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to even tell. I'm a little bit nervous about putting this like here.
Yeah.
I think it's just this cardboard that's holding it up, so I probably shouldn't fiddle around, or this might fall in the drink, and then I'd be pretty devastated to have to do this over again. But yeah, super happy. It's coming out really good. So we get this all cleaned up and smoothed out, and then we can actually use this now for a template to bend our aluminum corner that still needs to go in here to replace this cardboard. So yeah, turned out good. It's going to be very stout. No worries there.
Right
So
on.
it does look a little bit rough, but I guarantee it's going to clean up really, really nice.
So with that, I guess that's it for today.
Yeah, back on it again tomorrow. Go to the store, get some more wire because it's pretty much out, and then plan on starting to weld these rails out. We got good weather for a couple of days, so we're going to try and really focus on getting this welded on the outside, and then we can start getting everything welded out on the inside.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exciting times ahead.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you again tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. See you guys.